Listen.
Apparently we are now live. Good days. Just wait for it to pop up on the old.
We can tell them at the end how fancy pros things.
Well, the four highest teams are the ones I drafted.
Oh, did you manually mock it as we were going along? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smart. Wish I'd thought of doing that, actually. Never mind.
I mean, I thought I may as well.
That's fine.
I've got it up, so if we need it, we got it here.
Yeah. Okay. Intro music. I'm just going to turn the volume down so I don't deafen everybody. Okay, here we go.
The whole Liam Kumar Day effect, not really happened.
Nigel couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I rang up Mendenhall, he said he could make it.
Don't dig this hole. Phil, credit to the guy, he always manages to do well what he has to. He is a shocking personality. You guys got a trophy? No.
It was pre-vid.
No, my life from Rashad Mendenhall.
Right, you go. I'm a tag, Jack! I'm a fucking tag!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the LOC Report, perhaps the biggest one we've had of the preseason so far. And I am joined not only by the co-host, which has a bit better internet connection this week, we also have special guest, Coach Burdett on the show. How's it going, fellas?
All good. All good, yeah. It's nice to be back and you can actually hear me and see me.
My first podcast in over a year, or about a year.
Oh, yeah. It's quite a while. That's it. I must admit, we've been flying solo for a long time, me and Nathan.
Yeah.
I don't think I did a regular season one last year. I may have done a pre-season one.
I don't think anybody did a regular season one last year.
No, there were a few people, but you were away for a couple of weeks. Were you in America last year?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, we had Mike on. Ross made his first appearance too. But outside of that, yes, you did. You were a bit of a marathon man last year, Chris.
It's alright. That's it. Yeah. That's it. People just can't get enough of me. So.
Exactly, and they're going to get even more of you today because we're here to talk mock draft. We've just conducted the annual LOC mock draft a bit earlier than usual, but our normal draft is a bit earlier than usual. But obviously, before we get all to that and the draft primer, first we need to give you all some league news, which I will do once I've turned down the volume and find the jingle. That would also be a good thing. Here's the news. The draft is now less than just over 2 weeks away. Just over 2 weeks away. No, less than 2 weeks away. Yes, 29th of August. Time now confirmed. We will be starting at 2:30. I will try and set up everything before so we can get the ball rolling and everything at 2:30. Especially as we will have Phil in the house. Virtually, of course, from New Zealand.
Oof.
Yeah, so we want to get away as quickly as we can for him because, yes, it's very late for him while it's mid-afternoon for us. And we now have the date and time confirmed for the divisional lining event, which is this Sunday, starting at 10:30 a.m. as well, wherever you are. And again, Phil will be participating in that. I think we've got pretty much everyone for the division. In fact, I think we do have everyone for the divisional lining event.
That is absurd. But great at the same time. So.
Yeah, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure we do. Everyone is available for the division line event. So that's good.
Is Chris going to give us this quick sneak peek?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that the best thing as I can say is that you're never going to look at mundane things in the street ever again in the same way.
I'll get my practice in this week.
Absolutely. So if you look going past lamppost and you go, could be mine on Sunday. That could be my lamppost, or it could be my park bench. Whatever it might be. But yeah. So I mean, hopefully there'll be a few things that will be a little bit more fun than that. But we'll see.
That sounds more than enough fun.
Well, I'm pleased to hear. I mean, it's obviously an easy crowd to please. But no, I hope everyone have enough fun doing it. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, 10:30. I've got to get some ideas together, but I'm working on that.
You've got a few days. That's fine. You've got a few days.
I do.
So subs as well have been confirmed. Most of you have paid me already £3, but I think Ollie G, Pat, and Phil are the last to pay me. So thank you all for being on it with that as well. And in terms of the news, I think that's pretty much it. NFL training camps are actually underway now. First episode of Hard Knocks has already been on the air, so it's feeling a bit more like a normal NFL preseason at last. And obviously, the closer we get, the more it will hopefully feel a bit normal until we see stadiums with no people in. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so we'll have a quick debate corner this week as well, as something else just dropped, which I'll mention at the start of debate corner. And I've turned down the volume now. Where is my jingle? Here it is.
Order.
There you go, John Perkow still getting a bit of pop, and we've officially entered debate corner. The first time we've had 3 people in debate corner. It's a bit cozier. It's nice.
It's exactly.
And yeah, so just before the podcast, the LOC committee, which is obviously me, Commissioner, Tom, E.Locker, and Chris, League Ombudsman, have agreed the protocol for what will happen this season if the season is shortened or what have you for any reason. So all games will count towards career wins and losses for coaches, regardless of the number of games played. Regular season winner, division winners, wild card, highest scoring team, etc., everything official like that will count if we get to 8+ games. If there is a shortened season for any reason, there will be no LOC playoffs and no Corona Bowl winner. However, if the NFL does have a mini or an expanded playoffs or a return to play playoffs like the NBA has had, I'm sure we can come up with something to do with the equivalent in the LOC with what's happening in the NFL as well. So we'll cover that as and when. Chris was part of the discussion on this, looking very suave in his sunglasses. So I'll throw the first reaction to Ollie, who was on the receiving end of this news not long ago. What do you think of the protocols we've come up with?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I think it's sort of got to be done. I think 8 wins or 8 games is a good sort of threshold, like halfway through, or pretty much halfway through the regular season.
Oh, just over, yeah.
So yeah, I don't see any reason why. I don't think it's going to come to that.
No, I don't either. No, I agree.
I think, based on how the football season's restarted, the NBA, baseball, and all of that, I think it'll be a strange season without fans, as you touched on earlier. But I think, that'll be what they're trying to avoid. So I just also would find it ironic that we've called it the Corona Bowl for years and years, and it's cancelled because of Corona.
Well, our last episode of last season famously was Rise of the Corona, which, God, that was prophetic by us, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we could have done any better than that, to be honest. But yeah, I think we want to just a simple solution. This does simplify things somewhat. There's no point doing points on count back because I just can't understand that. That's it. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, if there's no overall winner, then there shouldn't be one crowned.
That's basically where we felt, wasn't it? We kind of felt like that you need a playoffs to give legitimacy to the champion, because that's always how it has been. But there is no fair way of calculating that by backdating, because reasonably by that point, bye weeks will have happened and whatnot, so it just can't be done. But I'm sure the NFL would return in some capacity like the NBA has, so we could therefore find a winner through that method.
I mean, there's quite a long gap, isn't there, between February and when they actually start everything back up in July time.
Yeah.
But even before the draft in April and stuff, They could fit in their own mini playoffs. Basically.
Exactly, yeah.
So it'd be left open. I think it's good to think about, but I don't think personally.
And that was the crux of it. Yeah, we just wanted to. Yeah, exactly. That was the crux of it. I just wanted to get out in front of it, so there's no arguments when the season starts and where a team's performance comes into it and whatnot. So that's all done and dusted. So that is Debate Corner for today. We will get to the meat and bones of the show now. Starting off, let's start with the mock draft first. We'll come back to the draft primer. So I am going to move this so the viewers can still see both of you. That would be good. We did a mock draft. We took the Fantasy Pros rankings and just went through team by team I'll read out the picks from each round and then we'll pick out on anything interesting. So starting with round 1, I should say as well, Ollie had the top 4 picks. So that's Forge5's Gridiron Gang, Dream Team and Ixan. I had the middle section of Ross, Ben Estes, You Are Golden, Bucking the Trend, and Chris had the back end of the order with the Type Fards, Detonators, Tom's Tyrants, and Pakistan. So, from top to bottom, we have Christian McCaffrey at 1 to Forge Flies, Saquon Barkley at 2 to Gridiron Gang, Zuki Elliott at 3 to the Dream Team, Derrick Henry at 4 to Ixan, Alvin Kamara at 5 to Ross's team, Dalvin Cook at 6 to Ben SSDs, Josh Jacobs at 7 to You Are Gold, Michael Thomas to Bucking the Trend at 8, Lamar Jackson to Phil at 9, Nick Chubb to Detonators at 10, Tyreek Hill to Tom at 11, and then Devontae Adams at 12 to Pakistan. So a few interesting things to pick up right in the top here. I guess Derrick Henry returning to Ixan for another year. He, of course, got him as a value, as we saw in last week's episodes, the 2019 best and worst draft picks. It was the 3rd or 4th round, I can't quite remember which one. 4th, thank you, Chris. But he returns there, so that makes a lot of sense, you would think. In terms of other stuff going down, Michael Thomas first off the board at 8 there to Viv. But the biggest thing of this round is obviously Lamar Jackson to the Tuck Fards, and you made that pick, Chris.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Well, I just think that at this point, Phil is, as we know, quite a reasonably difficult person to know what he's going to do in a draft. He's a bit of a maverick in that sense. So I think
Phil knows what he's going to do in a draft.
Well, sometimes. Everyone remembers the infamous year he picked 2Ds.
And Andre Johnson and T.Y. Hilton within, 2 rounds of each other, 3 rounds of each other. And the year he took Drew Brees in the first and Matthew Stafford in the 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
That's it. So, there's that. But I think for the last few years, there's been something has happened, and the light bulb sort of flashed in his head that you've really got to score some big points. And Phil has.
Is that why he took D.D. Westbrook in the 5th last year?
It's not necessarily
300-yard game, mate, like we promised.
That's it. He will. I don't know when.
When he joined the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, okay. But no, I see your point, Chris. I see your point. He took Patrick Mahomes quite high last year at the back end of the 2nd round, I think it was. And this is an extension of that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think that if there's anyone who's worth a 1st round pick, I think that's probably him. So yeah, for sure. I think that wouldn't be laughed out of the room this time.
No. And then the other interesting pick of that is Devontae Adams going to Pakistan. He of course traded for him last season, only for him to get injured straight away. But when he did come back, he was quite valuable for his team.
Yes.
Yeah. Going to round 2 then, we have Travis Kelce, pick 13 to Pakistan, Julio Jones, pick 14 to Tom's Tyrants, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, pick 15 to the Detonators, Joe Mixon at 16 to the Dark Fards, Chris Godwin at 17 to Bucking the Trend, Kenny Golladay at 18 to You Are Gold, Miles Sanders at 19 to Ben SSDs, George Kittle to Ross at 20, Kenyon Drake to 21 at Ixan, Aaron Jones 22 to the Dream Team, DeAndre Hopkins at 23 to Gridiron Gang, and Patrick Mahomes to Fudge Flies at 24. So we have the first tight end off the board here to Pakistan. First pick of the 2nd round. Don't think that's surprising. The
rookie off the board.
Yeah, first rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who in some circles he is now being talked as high as kind of the Derrick Henry pick, right in that mix, but probably behind him. And maybe even including him, he's around there, so could be a massive value here in the 2nd round for you, Ollie. What else do we have of interest? Kenny Golladay returns to You Are Gold for a 2nd season in this mock. George Kittle is another tight end off the board to Ross there, and DeAndre Hopkins returns to Gridiron Gang as well for the 2nd consecutive year in this mock. I don't think there's anything else of note there. Obviously Mahomes, but he kind of went in that stretch last season.
Yeah, he'll go around there.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll mosey on to round 3. Chris Carson to Forge Flies at 25. Austin Eckler to Gridiron Gang at 26. Mike Evans to the Dream Team 27. Allen Robinson at 28 to Ixan. Mark Andrews to Ross at 29. Odell Beckham at 30 to Ben Estes. Adam Thielen 31 to Our Gold. AJ Brown 32 to Bucking the Trend. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Type Pods at 33, Amari Cooper at 34 to you, Ollie, James Conner 35, Tom's Tyrants, and then Todd Gurley to Pakistan at the back end of the round in pick 36. First thing I'm going to highlight is the pick Ross's pick, Mark Andrews. That is his second tight end in a row.
More to come.
Auto draft is being predicted here. This is what happened to Viv last year, so history could repeat itself with the auto draft. Odell Beckham could be a good value there for my dad. His worst year statistically last year, but you would think
the Browns were just all bad.
Yeah.
But aside from Chubb,
yeah,
the Browns were just a joke when they shouldn't really be.
no, and they've got
that's it, exactly.
they've got Kevin Stefanski now as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The thing with him is that, you know, you look at his record and he's so run heavy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to do an awful lot for the receivers, but he's certainly going to do an awful lot more for the receivers.
you say run heavy though. You say run heavy, but so was Minnesota. Yet they still were able to sustain Diggs and Thielen because they were so concentrated at the top, largely because there was nothing else there. But you can say the same about Cleveland.
I suppose they do have two very similar type of receivers, yes. But what does worry me a little bit is that they do have two very, very good running backs in Cleveland.
They've also brought in Austin Hooper.
And him as well. Exactly. That $44 million, I think, 4-year contract, which is big for retired. So it's and you see what he did in Atlanta last year. He was a target monster. So there is turning into quite a lot of mouths to feed. Although that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yet I don't know. I always worry about Baker. I think it's whether or not he's in on it or he's not, and I get the impression occasionally that he's not all in.
Okay. The only other interesting thing of note there then is James Conner going back to Tom's Tyrants, a couple of lower rounds than last year. And Todd Gurley to Pakistan, who Todd Gurley, he was, I think he was the first rounder last year. Was that the way round? Ben did it, then he did Dalvin Cook at the top of the second. They were basically a doubleheader. But it's Gurley sliding back a bit more.
So you got two guys there, which I know they both carry a huge injury question mark on them.
Massive upside too.
But if they play 6,
yeah,
they're top 10 running backs.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
and you're getting them in what pick? End of the third round.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
We'll be looking at that next year in like top picks.
It's either going to be on the best picks or the worst picks side. It's not going to be anywhere in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Moving on to round 4 then, we've got Leonard Fournette, pick 37 to Pakistan, Melvin Gordon, 38, Tom's Tyrants, Dak Prescott at 39 to Burdett Natives, Calvin Ridley at 40 to the Tuckfards, DJ Moore at 41 to Bucking the Trend, Cooper Kupp at 42 to Your Gold, Robert Woods at 43 to Ben Estes, Tyler Lockett at 44 to Ross's team, Ixan take DK Metcalf at pick 45, Terry McLaurin at 46 to the Dream Team, Jonathan Taylor at pick 47 to Gridiron Gang, Cortland Sutton at 48 to Flyers. So again, we're speaking about those two running backs that could be a massive value. Leonard Fournette, you must think, would be in the same category as that with the first pick of round 4. Even Melvin Gordon as well, you might say, who he went in a similar range last year, but for different reasons, obviously, to Mike. Could massively overperform on that. We have the first non-elite tier of quarterback, you would say, in Dak Prescott coming off here to you as well, Ollie.
Yeah, he's sort of that next, or supposedly that next tier down.
Yep.
Time will tell.
Yeah, indeed. And then we have two Rams receivers going right next to each other, picks 43.
And then two Seattle receivers straight after.
Yep. If that happens on draft day, well, we should start getting paid, if basically.
Yeah, if we've predicted that right.
Yeah. And Cortland Sutton projected to return to Ford Flyers as well with the last pick of round 4 there. Round 5 then, you have David Johnson at 49 to Forge Flyers, DJ Chark at 50 to Gridiron Gang, Zach Ertz at 51 to the Dream Team, Le'Veon Bell 52 to Ixan, Mark Ingram 53 to Ross's team, David Montgomery 54 to Ben Estes, Russell Wilson at pick 55 to Your Gold, excuse me, Devontae Parker at 56 to Bucking the Trend, T.Y. Hilton at 57 to the Tuck Fards, Keenan Allen at 58 to Bananas, Kyler Murray to Tom's Tyrants 59, and 60 is Stephon Diggs to Pakistan. So again, the running backs that time will tell if they succeed or not. David Johnson right at the top there. Massive opportunity, but as we know as well, massive risk. Le'Veon Bell falls in the same category there at pick 52 to Ixam, but that does feel like an Ixam pick, does it not?
Yeah, it does. I think there is a tremendous amount of upsides with him. However, he is his head coach is the problem.
He ruins players. He ruins fantasy players. You look at Kenyon Drake,
Exactly.
what he's gone on to do. You even look at the quarterbacks as well. Yeah, Adam Gase just somehow suppress offensive players, which is odd for an offensive coach. But there you go.
Yeah, so called.
Yeah.
But I think what will help this year is if they can keep themselves in games. I mean, obviously, Darnold was injured for an awful lot. I say injured, I say ill for a lot of. With him on the field, they looked a lot better. And I think perhaps that's got the ability to stabilise him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got a full season under his belt there. So if you look at guys who are going to be bell cow running backs, there's not many that will go below him, really.
I think this year is pretty unique with the amount of possible running backs that could be that bell cow stats that are going really after round 2. I'll
say round 5 here, you've got David Johnson, Bell, and Montgomery, who are all locked in for at least 250 carries per club.
Yeah.
Like David Johnson, I was reading the thing, they want to show that the DeAndre Hopkins trade did actually make sense.
Of course.
Obviously it didn't,
Of
but
course.
they're going to feed him the ball.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell, I think he got that. Like, he'll get the catches as well. And Montgomery, whilst he may only gain 1 yard per carry, he will just keep getting the ball because Terry Cohen can't touch the ball more than 10 times a game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So volume's what you're looking for, isn't it?
Absolutely. You get Mark Ingram here too, and he was in the similar range last year, and he panned out quite well as well. Russell Wilson returning to UL Gold, a bit of a higher cost than last season. Same goes for Kyler Murray to Tom's Tyrants. And so some receivers as well that in years past have been much higher, and T.Y. Hilton and Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs falling to this one, but they all do have respective reasons for being there. Moving on to round 6 then, Deshaun Watson right at the top to Pakistan, Devin Singletary 62 to Tom's Tyrants, AJ Green at 63 to the Detonators, Marquise Brown 64 to the Tuckfards, Matt Ryan 65 to Bucking the Trend, Raheem Mostert at 66 to UR Gold, Michael Gallup 67 to Ben Necessities, Darren Waller at 68 to Ross's team, Cam Akers at 69 to Ixan, Jarvis Landry at 72 to the Dream Team, Julian Edelman to 71 to Gridiron Gang, and Tyler Boyd at 72 to Ford Flies. So we have another quarterback in this round, and Watson. AJ Green again. He went in a similar-ish range last year, but at least he profiles to you would think he'd be on the field for at least one snap this season, but he has already tweaked his hammy, I've seen. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell.
Exactly, but again, in that similar category, like the running backs we've just mentioned, if he does actually manage to play, at least 75% of the games, that would almost certainly pay off. Nothing else too interesting, I would say, in this round. Julian Edelman finally coming to Gridiron Gang after all these years, maybe the only other thing of note.
Can we talk about the fall of Deshaun Watson?
Yes, so he, that's the 5th quarterback taken?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, bearing in mind,
6th,
years gone by,
behind Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's it. He's been the 2nd or 3rd QB taken, and certainly in higher rounds than this.
That's a good catch, yeah. So, good value for Pat there, we're projecting.
Massive value.
He has just lost his only reliable target, though.
You say that, but I don't know. I mean, I think that when you've got... Yes, they haven't replaced them. Haven't replaced Hopkins with, with equal ability, perhaps. But it's not to say that Kate Stills is still there. No.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller.
Brandon Cooks is there. Will Fuller's there. They've got the half decent tight end.
Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson's coming out the backfield. David Johnson's there. He's on his days. Yeah, they've still got a reasonably good offensive unit around him.
The only question mark is that who's going to, if he throws it up into the end zone,
who's coming down with it?
Who's going to win the jump ball?
Yeah.
None of those guys.
No.
Hopkins, you'd throw it up against any cornerback, wouldn't you? And you'd give him a chance.
I don't think Kenny.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's really Deshaun's game as well. I don't think he's really shown to be kind of a that kind of gunslinger guy who wants to throw it into a contested space. But it is a good point. The red zone threat is gone to a degree.
They've got an absurd amount of pace. If
yeah.
Both down the field.
Yeah.
Probably got the quickest wide receiver corps going.
And Bill O'Brien, for all the lumps he gets as a GM, there is no questioning he is a good head coach and a good offensive coach. Yeah.
Yeah, like the systems, the continuity of the system they've got and everything is fine. As far as I know, their O-line's still pretty much intact from last year.
Yeah.
But you as I've found with fantasy-wise, so you can play you can play Carlos Hyde behind that, and it was serviceable.
Exactly.
If you upgrade that to David Johnson, which is a significant upgrade, you would think that they'd be able to keep themselves in games and be pretty good down there, I think, especially in that division.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's a big value. If you can get that guy, if you can get Watson down there 5th or 6th round, I mean, you're going to be laughing your way into the season, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Going on to round 7, then we have Marvin Jones at 73 to Forge Flyers, Kareem Hunt at 74 to Gridiron Gang, DeAndre Swift at 75 to the Dream Team, Josh Allen at 76 to Ixan, 77 is Carson Wentz to Ross's team, Drew Brees at 78 to Ben Estes, Ronald Jones at 79 to You Are Gold, Evan Engram at 80 to Bucking the Trend, Will Fuller at 81 to the Tuckfards, J.K. Dobbins at 82 to the Detonators, Brandon Cooks is 83 to Tom's Tyrants, and Jordan Howard at 84 to Pakistan. We get to this point of the draft and, you kind of lose your surprise. There's the quarterback run here, which feels about right. It's that kind of time of the draft, especially where everyone by this point has reasonably filled out their starting lineups, maybe even taken one skill position back up before going and getting that quarterback. So that feels about right. Anything else that jumps out here to you? J.K. Dobbins, maybe, that possible Ravens backfield. Two Texans receivers here as well.
Ronald Jones as well.
Yeah.
That mixed Bucks back.
Yeah, could be a massive payoff if he leads the committee. You would think.
Absolutely, yes. There are a lot of players that you can look at. You might not. I mean, like DeAndre Swift, for example. You look at him, and he could be the breakout that but again, it's committee back.
Jordan Howard, new in Miami as well.
Yeah, profiles to be the goal line back, albeit.
Yeah, we've not seen Miami supposedly are going to be better, more competitive in games, so they'll run it a bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've not seen any preseason.
No, indeed.
No. Yeah. And they got Matt Breida there as
well.
Yeah.
Preston Williams is back and healthy. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Moving on to round 8 then, we have John Brown at 85 to Pakistan, 86 is Hunter Henry to Tom's Tyrants, Deontay Johnson at 87 to Detonators, Tyler Higbee at 88 to the Tuckfards, 89 is Marlon Mack for Bucking the Trend, Kerryon Johnson at 90 to Your Gold, 91 is Tevin Coleman to Ben Estes, Mike Williams at 92 to Ross's team, Jared Cook to Alexander 93, Aaron Rodgers to the Dream Team at 94, Tom Brady at 95 to Gridiron Gang, and Darius Slayton at 96 to Forge Flyers. Biggest headline, certainly from an LOC point of view, is Tom Brady to Gridiron Gang. It's probably the easiest mock draft pick for anyone whenever we do these shows, even though he's in new places. It still wouldn't surprise anyone, would it?
No, absolutely not. I think that, again, we saw I take Peyton Manning some years ago to great effect, and everyone was sort of writing him off in the same kind of way as they're doing Brady right now. Brady's got better.
This is the best set of weapons he's had since
Randy Moss.
Yeah. You gotta think.
Was it 2007 or something?
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Probably. Yeah.
With those weapons, you can't not succeed. And it's everywhere. It's three decent receivers and a decent tight end, and you just think to yourself, wow.
And it's also not the great defense that New England had last year in terms.
They're going to need to score points. Yeah.
But it's far from. Brady didn't need to do a lot last year to get to the playoffs.
No.
Yeah.
He actually finished with quite good stats in the end, but.
Yeah, and it was the pass catches that were the problem. Outside of Edelman, there was practically nothing there. So he was still playing quite well.
Trade for Sanu.
That bugged me. Why we didn't do the Sanders trade instead of Sanu will never make sense to me. But there you go. Aaron Rodgers is probably another interesting one there. Kind of guy in a similar boat in a way, but the Packers haven't done anything to fix the pass catches around him. So
Aaron Rodgers is a weird one because, having owned him last year, he finished as like the QB 6 or 7.
It's a few big games, but between that,
got like 50 points in 2 or 3 different games, and they've got like 12 for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. I mean, the thing with Rodgers is that the Jordan Love is always going to be there now, and they've drafted him for the future, and quite rightly, because he looks great. For the last few years, he hasn't had that over his shoulder.
No.
He could just do whatever he needed to do, but now.
The thing is that it's not Rodgers' play which has let his stats down.
Granted.
It's the fact that Matt LaFleur decides that he needs 17 running backs on his team. Don't get me wrong, it works.
And he doesn't fit anymore, and Jordan Love fits into that system.
Yeah.
In a better way. It might not take long, especially a year like this where it could be curtailed, to throw him in and see what happens. Although I doubt that'll happen, because
yeah, you got to think they'll be in the playoffs, no doubt. Again, probably.
I'd say they were in there last year.
Their defense is too good.
Yeah.
Not to be.
And the only other 2 interesting things here, again, Marlon Mack, Kerryon Johnson. On paper at the moment, they seem like the starting running backs. There is a lot of questions in that backfield, but round 8, these are the kind of guys that can sometimes pay off. Round 9, we have the first DST off the board to Fortify's pick 97. Philip Lindsay to Gridiron Gang 98. Matt Breda to the Dream Team at 99. Hayden Hurst to Ixan at 100. Matthew Stafford to Ross's team at 101. Rob Gronkowski to Bare Necessities at 102. CD Lamb to You Are Gold at 103. Daniel Jones reunites with Bucking the Trend at 104. Jamison Crowder to the Top Fives at 105. Christian Kirk 106 to the Detonators. Sony Michelle 107. Tom's Tyrants and Emmanuel Sanders at 108 to Pakistan. Nothing really to eyebrow raising. We have that first DST. Rob Gronkowski finds his name in a draft again. And Sony Michelle, much like the other 2 guys I mentioned, on paper is the lead dog of the committee. But how long will that last? We don't know.
Well,
yeah.
Not long.
Speaking of which, that leads us nicely on to Adrian Peterson at pick 109 to Pakistan in the first pick of round 10. Austin Hooper to Tom's Tyrants at 110. Sorry, the other one was 109. San Francisco D to the Detonators at 111. New England D to Tuck Fuds at 112. Deebo Samuel, a guy who was pretty good last year, but obviously injured at the moment, Bucking the Trend at 113. Tariq Cohen to You Are Gold at 114. That Bears connection. Same thing with Anthony Miller at 115 to Bare Necessities. James White to Ross's team at 116, couple of Ds, Pittsburgh to Ixan at 117 and 118, Buffalo to the Dream Team. Cam Newton to Gridiron Gang at 119, so Gridiron Gang mocked Tom Brady and Cam Newton, just a thing of note. Jerry Jeudy drafted to Fortify's at 120. It's just mosey on to round 11, nothing else really interesting there, but this is the start of the kick around. Harrison Butker to Fortify's at the top at 121. Darrell Henderson to Gridiron Gang at 122. Latavius Murray to the Dream Team at 123. Zach Moss, that rookie running back in Buffalo, to Ixan at 124. Mike Gesicki to Ross's team 125. Alexander Madison, the first handcuff, at 126 to Bare Necessities. They are the mocked Dalvin Cook owner. Jared Cook to You Are Gold at 127. McCole Hardman at 128 to Bucking the Trend. Baker Mayfield to the Tuck Fives at 129. Joe Burrow, the number 1 overall pick of the 2020 draft, to the Detonators at 130. Noah Fant at 131 to Tom's Tyrants. Sterling Shepard at 132 to Pakistan. I don't think there's anything else we need to discuss in that, so I'll just move on. Round 12. Los Angeles defense, that's the Rams to Pakistan at 133. Chicago D at 134 to Tom's Tyrants. Another rookie receiver, Justin Jefferson to the Detonators 135. Brashad Perriman mocked to the Tuck Fuds at pick 136. That's both a troll, but also a very Phil thing to do here, after he, of course, ruined his Cinderella story of riding off into the sunset last year. Justin Tucker at 137 to Bucking the Trend. New Orleans DTR Gold at 138. Will Lutz to Bare Necessities at 139. Kansas D to Ross's team at 140. Sean Vaughn to Ixan at 141. A possible lead dog in a committee there to Ben. Jalen Rager, customary receiver for Philadelphia, to Viv at 142. Greg Zerline to Gridiron Gang at 143. He re-ups with Gridiron Gang for another year. Henry Ruggs, the exciting rookie for the Raiders, to Fortify's at 144. Followed by Brandon Ayuk, the rookie in San Francisco to Fortifies at 145. Minnesota D to Gridiron Gang at 146. Robbie Gold to the Dream Team 147. Matt Gay to Ixan 148. Matt Prater to Ross's team at 149. Tennessee's defense to Ben Necessities at 150. Jake Elliott to You Are Gold at 151. And Seattle D to Bucking the Trend at 152. Zane Gonzalez to the Top Files at 153. Kami Fairbairn to The Detonators at 154. Michael Badgley to Tom Tarrant at 155. And 156 is Mason Crosby to Pakistan. So that is the LOC mock draft for 2020. How close will we be? We will find out.
I think that's probably a show we should do. It's how close did we get?
It's nothing. Yeah, we can probably cover that off in the review of the draft and preview show. Why not? I've got the template here, so I can drop it straight in next to it. It's saved, so we can do that. So.
And if we get it bang on,
yeah,
season's cancelled. We've won.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll split the Corona Bowl 3 ways.
Sounds good to me. We deserve it. It took us nearly an hour to do this, I think. So,
don't worry, it'll take us 3 hours to do it on the day.
Yeah. That's the efficiency we like. Speaking of the day, the rest of this episode is the draft primer, because this is the first year since I think 2011 or 2010 where we are doing a virtual draft. We are not using the NFL platform, but yeah, it's been a while. 2011, I can't remember which of the years was the first one. We did it in my dining room, was the inaugural one. But
I think it might be earlier than that. I think it might be 2010.
No, I think it was definitely after the first couple of years. Yeah, but it's been a while. So yeah, virtual draft. But that does not mean a bad thing. We will all be on a Hangouts together is the way we're going to do it. I'm going to set up a place in the loft. I will have a TV with the draft clock on, so everyone can see that on my screen. I will have the podium up there, of course. I will be announcing the picks from there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to be doing pick announcements, but...
No, yeah, same process as before in that regard. You message me privately your pick. I will say the pick is in, get up and read it, and announce who's on the clock and start the clock. Like I say, the clock will be on the screen. Yep.
Just a note on that.
Yeah.
That's what separates our league a little bit from others who do like online drafts.
Yeah, no other league really does it offline.
Novelty to it, doesn't it? Of just like...
It makes it like a real draft. It's part of the pomp and circumstance, isn't it? So, of course, we'll have the draft video. We have I've forgotten what I called it last season, the winning season. The next episode of that will be coming out. It's a doozy, if I do say so myself. We'll have the Hall of Fame reveal, which team will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, or which nominee I should say. We'll have the mini trophy presentation to the current year's winner, although you won't be able to take it off me, Chris. Not on the day, at least.
If you transition your screens next to each other and Chris gets...
Yeah, I'll pass it down and then, we'll do the whole... Yeah, why not? We can do that, I'm sure. It's fine. But like I say, other than that, it should be, we should still have the banter. We'll all be on the Hangout together. I'll still be getting up and announcing the picks. We will have a bit of leeway with the clock. Like I say, the clock will be on the screen, but of course, technical issues can happen and whatnot. So,
what if that's the biggest risk? Someone's internet drops out on their pick.
Well, they should still be able to message me the pick. We'll give them a little bit of leeway with the clock, but assuming they were on the call to hear that it was their pick. Then they should still be able... And, worst comes to worst, you just default back one pick.
Yeah.
But like I said, we will have some leeway with that because... to
be fair, it'll probably be quite obvious if someone's connection's properly gone.
Yeah.
As opposed to they've just gone disconnect, I need another 2 minutes to think about my pick.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same breath, obviously me and Tom will be doing the draft board again. Obviously I'll be doing so a little bit of leeway for me and him on the clock is appreciated as well, since we'll be busy as well as everything else. But no, it should hopefully be it will definitely be a good draft day, even though it's a little different circumstances. That is your... it's 2:30, so please, like I say, I will send out a Hangout link a bit before that, with a view of getting going as soon as possible. Phil will be joining for at least the first few rounds as well, like I said. Nearly a full house, maybe if Ross can join for a bit as well. So we should have near enough a full house, so that should be good. Yeah. All good?
Perfect.
Oh,
That's
good.
it. Loving it.
There you go. Well, we have the division aligning event this weekend, so we will be back next week with the division event review, and the divisions will be aligned, of course, which means hopefully we'll have a schedule reveal for you. So that will all be next week, and then after that will be the draft, of course. So thank you both for joining me today and
Thanks for having
conducting
me
the
on.
mock draft.
It's
No,
been grand.
good, no problem. Till next week, I hope that you have a good Western week and weekend, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. I need to play the intro music. Here we go.